Arizona News Radio. Phoenix police shoot and send a gunman who was involved in a deadly confrontation and armed robbery at a Circle K this morning.
The victim that was found inside the business was pronounced deceased at scene, and he is also an adult male. He has not been identified.
Some tense moments for Prescott firefighters. They battled 11 small wildfires along Highway 89 today.
That it was most likely a vehicle with its chains dragging on the highway. You don't see the sparks during the day. You certainly do at night.
Border Patrol agents near Yuma arrest a Mexican national illegally in the country. He brandished a knife and threatened an agent.
The male subject became hostile and pulled out a knife. The agent then pulled out his duty weapon and gave the individual verbal commands to drop the knife.
Maricopa County Board of Supervisors approved a deal that ensures the Diamondbacks stay at Chase Field through 2022.
We're striking that balance to hopefully equal out at the end of the day.
George Tanner, Arizona News.
This is your traffic report brought to you by Unbound.org. We have stop-and-go traffic off the 202 between 40th Street and Route 51. Also, there's an accident on Loop 101 westbound on 7th Street and I-10 and westbound. Was the education of your children worth? There are children across the world who lack the privilege going to school.
From the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center, as we head into the evening, we have an air quality alert. Under mostly clear skies, the low tonight 72. Thursday, sunny and breezy, the high near 105. Thursday night, clear and breezy, overnight low 72. I'm Scott Allen Fortney from the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center.
Currently in downtown Phoenix, it's 103 degrees.
Next news in 30 minutes or when it breaks, here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
To prevent muscle cramps in your legs and feet, use TheraWorks Relief. This fast-acting foam is clinically proven to relieve leg and foot cramps. Get TheraWorks Relief today at select Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid pharmacies, or TheraWorksRelief.com. Ask your pharmacist for TheraWorks Relief.
Circle K's Polar Pop Cup lets you do you. Choose your Polar Pop Cup favorite flavor or create your own custom masterpiece. Large foam Polar Pop Cup, only 69 cents, only at Circle K.
Okay, everyone, Mother's Day is this Sunday. What are you getting, Mom? This year, get her the mother of all gifts from Sherry's Berries. Get her delicious, freshly dipped gourmet berries starting at $19.99 plus shipping. Order today and you get double the berries for just $10 more. Hurry, Mother's Day is this Sunday, May 13th. The only way to get this amazing offer is to go to berries.com, click the microphone in the upper right corner, and enter special code 7171. That's berries.com, special code 7171.
It's Wednesday, and welcome to the Wellness Roundtable radio show. I am your host, Dr. David Spear, along with my co-host, Dr. Scott Weiss.
How are you, Dave?
I'm good, Scott, and welcome to beautiful, sunny Phoenix, which is extremely hot, although we know it's a dry heat, so, of course, we have to say that. That's the caveat.
I just get nervous about that air quality.
Yeah, that too. So I'm inside, which is good. I'm not doing the show from outside, so at least, my lungs are taking a break from what the air quality is usually like. So today I want to have a discussion about something that's kind of very familiar to us, and it's what our business is based on, and that's telehealth. And this may be kind of to our listeners who are out there, this may be a term that you've heard before. It's kind of like, bantered around at dinner parties, and I have this telehealth app and all of this, So there's a lot going on around telehealth, but it's quite an old kind of technology. Wouldn't you say, Scott?
Yeah, I first agree with what you're saying. It's like people are kind of confused about it. They're not really sure if telehealth is an app that they use, is a tracking device, is it something that just hooks up to my computer? So I think it kind of first gets lumped into that whole, sum of technology, so to say.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at a kind of a resource center for telehealth, and they define it as a broad variety of technologies and tactics to deliver virtual medical, health, and educational services. So telehealth could be anything from, I mean, if you really want to, kind of get very specific about it, it could be an activity tracker that then sends information to, let's say, your physician or sends information elsewhere, right, about your activity. That in and of itself could be telehealth, but it also could be somewhat virtual too, right? So telehealth can also be kind of in the realm of like surgery, right, robotics and things like that, so it has that virtual kind of definition to it. And the thing is that although I don't think it's ill-defined, I wouldn't say it's ill-defined. I would say it's not clearly defined. Because
it's a new topic.
Yeah, but what's interesting is it's been around for like 25 years. It's only now become very mainstream in the last, I'd say, 10 to 15 years, where now the technologies are getting to the point where you actually can have virtual conversations, right? So with all of the conferencing software that's out there, those things bleed into telehealth, and now you're able to speak to your health professional.
Good point.
But what's really cool about it is first of all, the sort of the expanse of it. Okay, let's talk about that for a second. So it's not clearly defined, and only 20 states actually look at telehealth as some kind of service that could be reimbursed by insurance. So, and again, there's many different kinds of telehealth, but in the telehealth world that we live in, we're talking about sort of virtual conversations with health professionals, right? But there's only 20 states out there that say, yeah, some of the payers, could actually reimburse for it. It's still, I think, very much in sort of the baby stages, and it's kind of interesting that there's a lot of companies out there that deal with it, but there's only about 12 to 15 that you may have heard of. So it's such a sort of it's an industry in such its infancy, and it has so far to go. There's so many different things, that you can do with it. So I think we should discuss specifically what it is. Let's define it for the audience, and then let's talk about how sort of we came into it, and then, kind of what we're doing with it.
I agree, but I think that what we first have to do is kind of appreciate that it is, like you kind of just educated everyone about, is that it is multifaceted. And we're talking about a piece of it. We're not talking about the robotics end of it. We're not talking about, the other aspects of tracking. It's really what the Wellness Roundtable is bringing experts together on a virtual video platform, on your computer, on your iPhone, and that's really, I think the key, what we're focusing on.
Right, I agree. It's a very specific kind of niche, or it's a specific facet of what telehealth is. And also, and not to kind of confuse it with another term, which is called telemedicine. So telemedicine is often referred to as kind of a virtual mechanism for clinical diagnoses and monitoring, right, delivered by technology. But it's not, what we're offering is not necessarily medicine per se, because we're not, offering prescriptions online, and we don't have, internists and various types of physicians online, and maybe we will in the future. But what we're offering is health. Wellness.
And that's right, Dave. And that's what I think, really makes us different. It's not only health, it's allied health and the alternative medicine. Because we know this has been done already. Telemedicine is out there.
Right.
Physicians, like you said, give prescriptions, really direct patients in so many ways. But not many physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists, nutritionists are able to chat with their clients all together virtually on a video platform. So I like the aspect that we truly bring is the allied health / alternative medicine to the telehealth platforms.
Right. So let's talk about, how sort of those various occupations that you spoke of, those professionals that you spoke of, physical therapists, occupational therapists, traditionally we think that this is a hands-on kind of occupation, right? You have to have your hands on the patient in order to provide results, in order to provide outcomes. But from a physical therapy standpoint, if you were talking kind of from your office, from your from your experience and your vantage point. Is that true?
Well, Dave, I kind of think about, look at the massage therapist. They kind of need to do what they do. They have to be hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, you think of somebody that really needs hands-on that might not benefit that much from a telehealth platform would be the massage therapist. But you switch gears or turn the coin over to a physical therapist, they're really not only touching a patient, but educating them on exercise, on their own body. They're licensed to do so much more. So I think that there is a lot you can do with telehealth. I even came into so many interactions where people would just simply say, hey, I'm traveling, and I wish I could just talk to you when I'm traveling to just review the exercises. So there are a lot of, so to say, not only niches for it, but there are a lot of reasons why patients out there would want to use telehealth. And it just hasn't, like you said, so to say, hit the ground yet running. It's still not really comfortable on everyone's terms. They don't really know that it's a viable option, so to say, besides just the hands-on, but it's moving in that direction.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that's a really good point, and I think in our next segment we're going to talk about the educational sort of aspect of this, because for a lot of the health professionals that could utilize telehealth, it's really an educational mechanism. They're using a new medium to educate a larger mass of people. Whether it be at one time through streaming video, whether it be through, there's so many different ways of doing it, a one-on-one, whatever, but it's education, right? Because, short of, you can't really put your hands on the patient through the screen. Maybe you will be able to in 10 years, but right now you can't.
Right.
So,
but I hurt my ankle. What should I do?
Yeah.
Take a look.
Yeah.
Take a look.
Right.
And that's how I think it works.
And I think you're right. And so there's a lot of health professionals that I think can benefit from that. And we're going to talk about that, sort of that aspect of it. We're going to get into the education of telehealth. And if you want to join our conversation, again, it's kind of a new term, and we're learning, as we go as well. We're on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX, and give us a call at 602-277-5369 or call us toll free at 1-866-536-1100. And we'll be right back after these words.
Are you tired of spending valuable time with doctors who don't give you the attention you deserve? Even worse, they don't do a comprehensive investigation into the symptoms you do have. Finally, there are doctors that can help you and your family regain and maintain a youthful vitality using the tools of integrative medicine. Doctors Beck and Riaz bring over 30 years of experience to their practice, and they're available when you are. Their services include executive weight loss programs, sexual enhancement programs, pain management, and more. Visit Doctors Beck and Riaz at iWellnessPartners.com or call 480-508-7050 and make your appointment today. They'll earn your trust through a thorough workup with regular communication and get you feeling better than you have in years. The doctor is in.
Want to speak to an expert? Have a question involving your health and fitness? Visit wellnessroundtable.com and listen to the Wellness Roundtable Radio Hour right here on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX every Wednesday at 3 p.m.
Do you want to change the way you eat? How about trying a keto diet? Ever thought about a ketogenic lifestyle and how it brings about long-term health? Go Keto is a product that can do just that. Go Keto is the brainchild of Gerald Byrne, an international specialist in food science and metabolic physiology. Go Keto can reduce cravings and preserve muscle and glycogen stores. And most importantly, it has a natural taste, no sugar, no carbs, and no caffeine. Go Keto is clean fuel for body and mind. Visit GB Nutricides and use the promo code WellGoKeto20 to receive 20% off your first order. Get your Go Keto today and change your life for the better.
Hey Atrix is one of the fastest growing companies in the footwear industry and is widely recognized as a global leader in comfort and wellness footwear products. The Atrix mission is to create the healthiest shoe on the market today with fashion, function, and quality at the forefront. Atrix designs and manufactures most types of footwear for both men and women. All styles are crafted with care to meet the highest standards in design, incorporate cutting-edge technologies, and offer unmatched customization and adjustability. To learn how Atrix can help you with your feet, go to AETREX.com. That's Atrix.com.
Are you tired of traveling or waiting to see a health professional? Now you don't have to. Video chat with an expert anytime, anywhere, and get your health questions answered. Visit wellnessroundtable.com and speak to experts from all over the country in the areas of health, wellness, and fitness. Wellnessroundtable.com offers an on-demand system that allows you to connect to an expert immediately. No scheduling, no appointments necessary. Wellnessroundtable.com. Visit our website and take advantage of our on-demand system, wellnessroundtable.com, where you get your questions answered. Wellnessroundtable.com.
Have dinner on top of a mountain. Enjoy a night of entertainment, amazing city views, and night sky viewing with professional astronomers, all while supporting our city's parks and preserves. Join the Phoenix Parks Foundation on Friday, May 18th at Dinner in the Park, Moon over South Mountain, and support your local parks. This one-of-a-kind event offers an amazing evening on top of South Mountain with trolley rides, gourmet food, and drinks. Don't miss this annual event. Tickets on sale now. Moon over South Mountain, Friday, May 18th. Visit phxparksfoundation.org. That's phxparksfoundation.org, or follow us on Facebook.
We're back at the Wellness Roundtable radio show. Dr. David Spear, and I have Dr. Scott Weiss on the line. Give us a call at 602-277-5369 or 1-866-536-1100. We're talking telehealth. So, Scott, when we last got just got off the air, we were talking about the educational aspect of telehealth. And what I first wanted to say is that I remember that, working in cardiac rehabilitation many, many years ago, there was a remote way of sort of monitoring a patient's heart, not only their heart rate, but their heart rhythm.
Telemetry.
Now, telemetry was done in cardiac rehabs in, let's say, inside a hospital, inside a clinic, but they also designed systems that could monitor a patient, and it really kind of was up for debate, but it was somewhere between 40 and 60 miles from the hospital. So the patient had a device with them in their home, and there was a device at the hospital, and they could monitor the patient from there. So we've come a long way since then, right? And also with that technology, it wasn't really about education as much as it was about monitoring, right? So
I agree.
Right.
I agree, and it's still about monitoring. You and I were just at the American Telehealth Association 2018 convention in Chicago.
Yes.
And we realized that monitoring is huge. I mean, you don't even have to. It's almost like you just hook it up to your modem, and there's this little kind of router that will pick up everything from your heart rhythms to brain waves to whatever's going on.
Right.
So I think it's really fascinating where that aspect is going. But to bring it back to what we're doing, you're right, we're basically doing more of the educational aspect of it. Because, you always think that you have to be hands-on. And as we were saying in the segment before, you don't always have to be. By educating and letting people know what to do initially right after an injury is ideal.
Right.
It's just a great scenario for the Wellness Roundtable.
Right, I agree. And also, I think it's also it's an issue of convenience, right? And it's also an issue of time. So let's say, for instance, I do twist my ankle, and now I get on our platform, and I'm speaking to a health professional who has years of experience in ankle injuries. They could tell me, I'm looking at it. It doesn't look that bad. You might want to ice it for the next 48 hours, and then maybe we'll get back online and we'll see how it does then. Like there's a lot of ways that you can kind of make it more efficient so that people don't have to sort of go through the rigmarole of let's say, going to a doctor or going to the ER.
Dave, I've gone through exams.
Right.
I've taken patients from, and athletes from the U.S. sailing team, the U.S. triathlon team, and I've brought them through full exams online,
Right.
So it's, I can say, hey, could you stand on one leg? Can you hop in one place? Can you do a couple of calf raises? Can you pull your toes to your chest? You can pretty much do a lot if you have a compliant person, or especially somebody that wants to know if they really injured themselves. And we can't be at everybody's injury right there.
Right.
That's the key, is that, like, most of the time when there's an acute injury, there might not be somebody there to help you, but now they have somebody. They can literally use the Wellness Roundtable app or jump right online and have their instant access to experts.
Yeah, that's a great point. And, you were saying that we can't be everywhere at once, right? And, telehealth has also been big in stroke, right? So in stroke, you need to be able to intervene very, very quickly. And telehealth has been used in that regard. So I think you're right. I think, we both talk about it all the time. And whether, it's our platform that we created or it's other telehealth platforms, the wave is coming. And this is the future of, I don't want to say the future of medicine per se, but it's definitely going to be a very big facet of health.
Health, exactly. That's the way healthcare is going to be delivered. Because, David, we know it's not only just, the random person saying, oh, I hurt my ankle, like we talked about, but this might be a reduction of costs in healthcare for bigger companies and bigger businesses that will say, you know what, we might not have to use our United Healthcare. They can call, our employees can call the Wellness Roundtable and find out if it's a situation that's, grandiose enough to go to a physician, or take the next step. So I think that there's, there's a place with this. I agree. You know what I'm hitting at.
I agree, yeah. I think Wellness Roundtable, and we've said it before, is also geared toward prevention. So in that sense, or, in saying that, you are focused on reducing costs for individuals, for employers, because if they can go on a platform, if they can go on wellnessroundtable.com and they can talk to a health professional, then they don't have to go elsewhere and spend a lot of money, and they're not spending, a ton of insurance money either. They're not.
Yeah, because I'm a business owner, and I know how much it is, at Body's Own to pay employees, and their health care, and we try to take at least half of the burden off of the employee and pay half of it.
Right.
But there are some companies that don't pay any, some companies that pay the whole thing. But if there was something to supplement that, I think that many business owners that have several employees would say this is a good option or a pliable option,
Yep, absolutely. No, it's definitely viable. It's definitely affordable. And as we said, it's about efficiency and about, reducing time and reducing costs. So there are a few ways that we can use wellnessroundtable.com. We can use telehealth platforms, and let's go over some of those ways. So first, we have live video, right? So you can have live video, which means that you're actually speaking to somebody on wherever they are, through your computer screen. And I'm sure people do that all the time, whether it be through, a teleconference type of mechanism or Zoom or something like that. But ours is embedded in our platform, and it allows for the expert not only to speak to you, but also to send documentation and also to share their screen. So if they want to show you something at the same time they're talking to you, they can do so. And in addition to that, the individual who goes on to speak to the health professional actually fills out some information so that the expert gets that information and knows exactly how to address the issue at hand, right? So that live streaming video is really kind of that's like the novelty technology, right? It really...
Dave, the only thing that I would say that makes the roundtable, the Wellness Roundtable, a little different is that it's multiple experts at one time.
Right.
You're right. I could pick up my phone and talk to my kids on iPhone, right away. I could jump on and go to a meeting and no problem. But if I really want to speak to like 2 or 3 experts, like a nutritionist, a physical therapist, and my trainer, with my doctor, we can do that.
Right.
That's the beauty of it.
Right. Not only are you just speaking to them, but you're speaking to them about the specific question that you have.
Yes,
so that's
the difference.
Right. You're sending them your information. They're then getting that information. They're collaborating on what the message is going to be, and then they're educating you.
Yes, the collaboration is really key, and of course the education.
Absolutely, and as we know from sort of an academic standpoint, I think we call it interdisciplinary, right? The multiple disciplines getting together makes it really rich. It enriches that whole experience.
It does, because anytime you have things from different angles, and multiple people looking at one thing, yes, might get more input, but you'll get, so to say, better input. You'll get just a lot, and then you'll synthesize it all and have somebody good to help synthesize it for you.
Right. And you're right. You get, like you said, better input. You get it from different vantage points, different experiences.
Correct.
So it adds a lot to it. Then there is another way of getting that information, and that would be what they call store and forward, which is basically having a storage repository or like an area where you keep, let's say, videos or information, and then patients can utilize that. They can use those videos for educational purposes. And on our platform, wellnessroundtable.com, we have a lot of videos. We have a lot of videos that have been put together by our experts. We have other videos. We have articles. We have podcasts. We have studies and stuff like that. So it is all about, the educational piece. I'd like to, in our, when we come back, Scott, I want to talk about the monitoring part of it and the mobile part of telehealth, and how mobile it's become and how we've kind of, we've weaved ourselves into that piece of it, because you don't have to be at home. And
you just got to connect. You have to be connected.
Right. Yeah. So you can do your telehealth anywhere. So again, if you want to join in on the conversation, we're at 602-277-5369, or give us a call at 1-866-536-1100. This is Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX, and you're listening to the Wellness Roundtable Radio Show. We'll be right back.
Real news, independent talk, 1100 KFNX. Telling it like it is. Independent talk, 1100 KFNX.
It looks like Singapore will be the site for the historic U.S.-North Korean summit, with a date still pending. More from correspondent Caitlin Collins.
We are told by sources that administration officials have been instructed to move forward with plans to hold that historic summit between President Trump and Kim Jong-un in Singapore. Now, that comes after the president today, during that cabinet meeting, ruled out the demilitarized zone on the Korean border.
The Pentagon is set to release a final report tomorrow on the Niger attack that killed 4 Americans last October. Officials say it concludes that the Army Special Forces team didn't get required command approval for the mission to go after a high-level Islamic State insurgent. Security will be heightened during Missouri Governor Eric Greitens' felony invasion of privacy trial as jury selection begins tomorrow. Prosecutors will argue that Greitens took a photo of a partially nude woman without her consent during a sexual encounter back in 2015. I'm Barbara Cusack.
This traffic report has been brought to you by Summit Mail Sent. We have stop-and-go traffic on I-10 westbound off the Loop 202. We have slow traffic on the 202 eastbound between Van Buren and Exit 4. They can't fix traffic, but they can help you with your erectile dysfunction or low testosterone. They'll make your love life go zoom zoom. SummitMailMedical.com.
From the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center, as we head into the evening, we have an air quality alert. Under mostly clear skies, the low tonight 72. Thursday, sunny and breezy, the high near 105. Thursday night, clear and breezy, overnight low 72. I'm Scott Allen Fortney from the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center.
Currently in downtown Phoenix, it's 103 degrees.
Next news in 30 minutes or when it breaks. Here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Are you tired of traveling or waiting to see a health professional? Now you don't have to. Video chat with an expert anytime, anywhere, and get your health questions answered. Visit wellnessroundtable.com and speak to experts from all over the country in the areas of health, wellness, and fitness. Wellnessroundtable.com offers an on-demand system that allows you to connect to an expert immediately. No scheduling, no appointments necessary. Wellnessroundtable.com. Visit our website and take advantage of our on-demand system, wellnessroundtable.com, where you get your questions answered. Wellnessroundtable.com.
Want to speak to an expert? Have a question involving your health and fitness? Visit wellnessroundtable.com and listen to the Wellness Roundtable Radio Hour right here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX, every Wednesday at 3 p.m.
Do you want to change the way you eat? How about trying a keto diet? Ever thought about a ketogenic lifestyle and how it brings about long-term health? Go Keto is a product that can do just that. Go Keto is the brainchild of Gerald Byrne, an international specialist in food science and metabolic physiology. Go Keto can reduce cravings and preserve muscle and glycogen stores. And most importantly, it has a natural taste, no sugar, no carbs, and no caffeine. Go Keto is clean fuel for body and mind. Visit GB Nutrisize and use the promo code WellGoKeto20 to receive 20% off your first order. Get your Go Keto today and change your life for the better.
Atrix is one of the fastest growing companies in the footwear industry and is widely recognized as a global leader in comfort and wellness footwear products. The Atrix mission is to create the healthiest shoe on the market today. With fashion, function, and quality at the forefront, Atrix designs and manufactures most types of footwear for both men and women. All styles are crafted with care to meet the highest standards in design, incorporate cutting-edge technologies, and offer unmatched customization and adjustability. To learn how Atrix can help you with your feet, go to AETREX.com. That's Atrix.com.
Are you tired of spending valuable time with doctors who don't give you the attention you deserve? Even worse, they don't do a comprehensive investigation into the symptoms you do have. Finally, there are doctors that can help you and your family regain and maintain a youthful vitality using the tools of integrative medicine. Doctors Beck and Riaz bring over 30 years of experience to their practice, and they're available when you are. Their services include executive weight loss programs, sexual enhancement programs, pain management, and more. Visit Doctors Beck and Riaz at iWellnessPartners.com or call 480-508-7050 and make your appointment today. They'll earn your trust through a thorough workup with regular communication and get you feeling better than you have in years. The doctor is in.
Back with the Wellness Roundtable Radio Show. I'm Dr. David Spear, along with my co-host, Dr. Scott Weiss.
A little Pink Floyd there.
Yeah, a little Pink Floyd taking us in. Give us a call at 602-277-5369 or 1-866-536-1100. So, Scott, we were discussing, telehealth and the fact that it's now become so mobile. And you even said you just need to be connected. So, in your practice as a physical therapist, do you use mechanisms like that for your patients, allowing them to be, sort of connected all the time?
I mean, they're connected in different ways. We allow patients to come in and have, free Wi-Fi access and things like that. So they're connected, but, I don't think right now there's more than a handful of, or a couple of fingers of physical therapy companies that are truly doing telemedicine across the country. So, as we said earlier, I don't think it's on everyone's tongue yet. I don't think it's that common in alternative medicine, like acupuncturists and chiropractors or physical therapy. I don't think it's just that common yet. So I can't really say that we have that. But we're trying to integrate the Wellness Roundtable software. And that's really, such an ideal platform for anybody because any company can literally use our software from the Wellness Roundtable and hold telehealth conferences with professionals that are HIPAA compliant, that are we're backed by the Better Business Bureau. So I think all of that really puts us in a really good scenario to help other companies with our software.
Yeah, and you make a good point. It's not only that that we have this platform, but that companies can utilize it in a way where they can put their own skin on it, and then it could just be their platform with their logo and everything else. But the other thing about it is that the educational piece, and this, a few years ago we both came up with this, is that we decided that the experts should be able to give lectures. So instead of just, having that one-on-one kind of situation, you now have an expert who's giving an actual lecture, which is live streaming. So now you're attending a lecture. We call it a lecture. It could be called a webinar, but you're attending this sort of live stream, which then you can communicate and interact with the health professional on the other end. So that's another way of sort of promoting that educational piece. And
Dave, it's just an aspect of the Wellness Roundtable. Like,
right.
Not only can you speak to many experts, but you can also attend these webinars/lectures. So it's like, again, the roundtable itself is multifaceted. It does many things,
right,
as telehealth does many things.
Right. And so, when we talk about this telehealth and we talk about the mobile aspect of it, right, what I was saying before is that it's about efficiency, it's about time, it's about convenience. Obviously, if it's on your phone, it's a little bit more convenient than for you having to sit at a desktop and use it, or be inside your house or inside a facility that has a larger computer. So we allow, or we have access to that as well, right? So the roundtable is also available on a phone. It's available on an iPad. It's, you can use it anywhere and everywhere, and connect to those health professionals across the country in that way. But the one thing I would say is that, and this is some of the research that I did with some colleagues a few years ago, is that it seems that these apps and, the information you're getting through apps, whether they be educational or just an exercise app, just kind of a general exercise app, it seems like they have a pretty big impact on the outcome, not only of the health of an individual, but they're able to motivate. And so I think that that's a big deal, because what we've been talking about this entire time is like, yeah, we're kind of on the cusp of it, but it's not really mainstream yet. It's kind of on the tip of people's tongues, but they don't really know how to use it yet. So what's going to be the tipping point? In your mind, what is going to sort of turn the light bulb on where people are like, wow, oh, okay, I guess I should use this, that kind of thing?
I would say, Dave, it's ease and accessibility, simply. Meaning, like, for instance, we know what it takes in a lab from while we were going through school to run a VO2 max test.
Right.
I used to have these big Douglas bags, squeezing the gas out by myself into an analyzer.
Right.
I mean, it was a pretty massive undertaking.
Right.
Now, in this day and age, you can bring a unit to the beach and have somebody see the metabolic cost of running in the sand.
Right.
So,
Right.
I really think that the ease and the accessibility, when a trainer, when a therapist, when a chiropractor, anyone can literally open their phone and put something, like aimed at an athlete and get a velocity, that's when we're going to be really, so to say, trusting technology.
Well,
I don't mean
yeah.
using it, but I mean trusting it.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal, right? Because, we're so mired in a traditional sense of the way we do things. We were talking before about a hands-on approach, right? Physical therapy has to be hands-on. Occupational therapy has to be hands-on. But really, we need to sort of change the paradigm, right? It's got to be a paradigm shift.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. It's got to be kind of a new way of looking at things. But I do agree with you that technology is going to be a big part of that. But you're going to have to change you're going to have to sort of prove it, right? It's going to have to be a proof of concept. And obviously it works. Not to say it doesn't work, because it's used in other industries. It's used all the time. But for health, it's not, traditionally you would actually go to an office and
That's right.
Right. So it really, people have to sort of have a shift in their thinking. And
Dave, look at this. They go to that trainer. You have to go to a trainer to work out.
Right. Right.
You have to go to, your doctor. I think when they realize that you don't have to all the time,
Right.
and you can get the workout pre-recorded online, you can get a list of exactly what to do, I think that might, it's like you said, just change the shift.
Yeah, it's going to be a shift in thinking where your coaching can be done sort of online, and it would be specifically geared toward you, and toward your goals and what you want to achieve. And this, the mobile health part of it, I think, is going to be a big aspect because, like you said, I think it has to be easy. It's got to be accessible. When when it is easy and accessible, then it just needs to be recognized, right? It needs to be something that people recognize as a service that can be provided for them. And
that's a good point.
Yeah, and speaking of that, it's like, I'm looking at this information from the Connected Health, the National Telehealth Policy Resource Center, which basically says that it's now more commonly used, telehealth, because it describes a wide range of diagnoses, management, and education, right? And the fields that they list, listen to this, dentistry. So that's kind of interesting, right? You don't have to go to your dentist. You can just do it through telehealth because they're definitely not drilling your teeth through the computer screen.
Of course.
Right.
That's the whole point is like that seems to be such a hands-on practice.
Right.
And I hope somebody can prove me wrong about massage. And I wish a massage therapist would call up and say, well, you know what? We can do, telehealth and we should be involved in telehealth. So I would love to hear the angles and the coordination of professionals realizing that this medium is ideal, Dave. That's what we're doing here.
That's exactly what it is. So you're bringing and also in a big way, and we heard this at the conference, you're not asking the patient or in this case, the user to go anywhere. You're bringing it to them. And that's, I think, a big, that's a big difference.
Yeah, I mean that's what's winning everybody over in these urban areas. Look at Uber, look at Lyft. From like traveling. I mean, I live in New York, Dave, and I really have anything at my fingertips.
Right.
There's I literally we can make one phone call, download one app, jump online, and literally have almost every type of ethnic meal I want delivered to my door. From African food to Indian food,
I agree. I know. Used to live there, so I know exactly what you're talking about. So,
and once people understand that health can be just like that, you can speak to such a vast amount of people across the globe so easily. That's when I think that the wave will crash.
Yeah, I agree with you. And so what I'd like to do is let's focus a little bit more on the future of this, where this is going. And how we see, Wellness Roundtable kind of being sort of interwoven in this future of telehealth.
Awesome.
All right. Give us a buzz at 602-277-5369 or 1-866-536-1100. We're talking telehealth. This is the Wellness Roundtable radio show. We'll be right back.
I was wasting
Do you want to change the way you eat? How about trying a keto diet? Ever thought about a ketogenic lifestyle and how it brings about long-term health? Go Keto is a product that can do just that. Go Keto is the brainchild of Gerald Byrne, an international specialist in food science and metabolic physiology. Go Keto can reduce cravings and preserve muscle and glycogen stores. And most importantly, it has a natural taste, no sugar, no carbs, and no caffeine. Go Keto is clean fuel for body and mind. Visit GB Nutrisize and use the promo code WellGoKeto20 to receive 20% off your first order. Get your Go Keto today and change your life for the better.
Atrix is one of the fastest growing companies in the footwear industry and is widely recognized as a global leader in comfort and wellness footwear products. The Atrix mission is to create the healthiest shoe on the market today with fashion, function, and quality at the forefront. Atrix designs and manufactures most types of footwear for both men and women. All styles are crafted with care to meet the highest standards in design, incorporate cutting-edge technologies, and offer unmatched customization and adjustability. To learn how Atrix can help you with your feet, go to AETREX.com. That's Atrix.com.
Are you tired of spending valuable time with doctors who don't give you the attention you deserve? Even worse, they don't do a comprehensive investigation into the symptoms you do have. Finally, there are doctors that can help you and your family regain and maintain a youthful vitality using the tools of integrative medicine. Doctors Beck and Riaz bring over 30 years of experience to their practice, and they're available when you are. Their services include executive weight loss programs, sexual enhancement programs, pain management, and more. Visit Doctors Beck and Riaz at iWellnessPartners.com or call 480-508-7050 and make your appointment today. They'll earn your trust through a thorough workup with regular communication and get you feeling better than you have in years. The doctor is in.
Want to speak to an expert? Have a question involving your health and fitness? Visit wellnessroundtable.com and listen to the Wellness Roundtable Radio Hour right here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX, every Wednesday at 3 p.m.
Are you tired of traveling or waiting to see a health professional? Now you don't have to. Video chat with an expert anytime, anywhere, and get your health questions answered. Visit wellnessroundtable.com and speak to experts from all over the country in the areas of health, wellness, and fitness. Wellnessroundtable.com offers an on-demand system that allows you to connect to an expert immediately. No scheduling, no appointments necessary. Wellnessroundtable.com. Visit our website and take advantage of our on-demand system, wellnessroundtable.com, where you get your questions answered. Wellnessroundtable.com.
Are you ready for great slot action? You just hit the jackpot at Apache Gold Casino Resort, located east of Phoenix. You'll discover the newest slots along with your all-time favorites. And when you're ready to unwind, book a room at Apache Gold Resort Hotel. 124 cozy rooms and suites. For a different kind of game, play around at Apache Stronghold, one of the state's top-ranked golf courses. Go all in at Apache Gold Casino Resort. Call us today at 1-800-APACHE-8 or visit apache-gold-casino.com.
We're back with the Wellness Roundtable Radio Show. Dr. David Spear, along with my co-host, Dr. Scott Weiss, and we're talking telehealth today. And we've, throughout the show, we've kind of defined what telehealth is. We've talked about the various industries that use telehealth. We've specifically talked about wellnessroundtable.com and the different kinds of, the different aspects of wellnessroundtable.com and what it offers. And like to talk a little bit about the future of telehealth. So if I were to ask you, Scott, 10 years ago, if you'd be able to speak to somebody through a computer screen, you'd probably think I was insane.
I mean, I wouldn't even, we grew up, Dave, I didn't even have a cell phone growing up, you know? Right. So, I mean, yeah, I think that we're definitely in the future, and within another 5 to 10 years, this is going to be mainstream.
So how futuristic does it get then? Does it get more futuristic than just talking to someone through a television, through either a TV screen or a computer screen? Or does it just get refined in that sense?
I think it's going to change. There will be another paradigm shift, and you will have a hologram of somebody in your room, David, that you combine, you hook a little laser up in one corner, you're going to hook a little laser up another corner, and boom, you have a column. Somebody's going to be like, all right, David, let's work out right now. So you're not going to even have to go online. You're going to have that person in your home showing you life size, exercising, just like you had a trainer. But the difference is they're not really there. You can walk through them. Right. Because they're just a hologram.
Right, like a holographic trainer or something, yeah.
Correct. So I think that it's going to change.
Now, the other thing is, the technology with motion capture and with kinetics, I think, is also going to play a role here. If you remember, the Kinect console that came out that would allow you to do, dancing with the avatar on the screen, which is still out. I mean, still out. But I think that's going to probably be integrated somehow. Because if you're a physical therapist on the other side and you're in Utah and, your patient is in New York, you're trying to do a range of motion assessment on them, how are you going to do that? You could do it.
And you're right, but you might have an object that you send to them, and like you just said, and that little piece of, optics is going to be able to refer information right back to your cell phone, and you can say, hey, you've gone too far. I wouldn't push it anymore. And that's really, that's an amazing advancement.
Right. One of the ways is to use a grid, right? You could maybe, make sort of a screenshot of a grid and place it behind the individual and then have them, raise their arm, raise their leg, whatever they're doing, and you can then measure it against a grid like we...
Oh, David, it's beyond that right now. There are websites and apps that will send you something that actually attaches to your knee. Right. And you just move your joint through a range of motion. There doesn't have to be a grid. There doesn't have to be a video.
And it tells you what the degrees are.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's, I think it's Athos, or there's a company out there that's already doing that.
Yeah. So there's a lot out there. I think it's it's going to hit a tipping point at some juncture, and then people are going to really start to recognize it for what it is, and start to use it more frequently.
I think that's the key. It's going to hit a tipping point.
Yeah. And whether that tipping point is, educating people more on what it is, if it's, having people just kind of adopt it, if it's word of mouth, if it's, whatever it is, that's what's going to happen with it. And it's happened already to a degree, but I think there's still a lot of people that are lagging behind. And one of the things that I would say is that, one of the sort of telltale signs is that there are only 20 states that are actually looking into reimbursement for this type of service. And the argument is that it's not a separate service. It's a service that's related to health. So it's not this kind of separate thing that needs to be reimbursed. It can be reimbursed in terms of just whatever you're doing, whether it be physical therapy, occupational therapy, whatever. It's part of it. It's an adjunct to it. Let's see where we go with this. We have a great platform out there, wellnessroundtable.com. We do a lot of different things. We have experts all over the country, and some in Spain. But we're really trying to sort of promote it as an excellent medium to get educated about your health. And
Dave, you just made a good final point.
Yeah.
You made a great final point, is that you and I have always been educating people, teaching, demonstrating the people that we're in touch with, that we can see, that are almost in grasping distance to us, whether it be Long Island University, whether it be through our clinic. But now we have the opportunity to really have the globe as our clinic. And I think, as the educator, we've talked this whole segment, and this whole hour about the other side of it from the patient's point of view. But for the educator, boy, you get to talk to many people from multiple countries and really have, again, like I said, the globe as your clinic, not just the local area.
Right. That's a great point, because people do bring different, viewpoints to things. And not only that, how about the fact that there's so many different disciplines on the platform that allows you not only to see just a physical therapist, but now you could talk to somebody about, obviously, nutrition, right? Personal training, strength and conditioning, Chinese medicine, whatever it is. So you can get all of those different vantage points that really focus on your particular issue or your question. That's a big thing. And for people, around the world, they're coming with different ideas and different viewpoints.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So that's what's great about the roundtable, and I really hope that people try to use the roundtable, realize that telemedicine, David, is really not this mysterious alien that we don't know about. It's closer cometh than one think.
Yeah, I agree. It's not only is it closer, than one thinks, but I agree. It's not this kind of mysterious thing where, it's this sort of thing in the ether. Oh my God, how do I do this? It's so difficult. It really isn't. It's actually quite easy to use. Telehealth is a burgeoning field. As you mentioned before, we went to a conference in Chicago and saw a lot of massive companies that are in the telemedicine space, and the space that we're in just has not exploded yet, but it will. I mean, this area is ripe. So, we really encourage our listeners to go onto the platform, try it out, speak to an expert about an issue, about a question that you have, and see where you can go from there and get educated. I think that's the biggest thing too, Scott. We were talking about education a lot, and that I think is, that's the biggest thing in your arsenal that you can have. If you're educated about your own health. What's that?
I was like, see how easy it is and how accessible we've made it.
Right.
I think that's what people don't realize, is that they might believe that, hey, okay, there might be great experts that can talk, but is it really that easy to just download the app and I can talk to them? Can I just jump on my computer? And it really is that easy and that accessible.
Right. Right. And it's about education, right? The more educated you are, the more empowered you are to sort of take care of your own health. Yeah, to take care of yourself. So
yeah, I just had a situation like that today where once people know what they're dealing with and an expert can tell them, no, I think this is exactly your diagnosis, there's some sort of transformation that takes place in the patient where they know what it is, they know the ingredients, they know how to bake it. You know what I mean? And that's really, it's really important.
Yeah, they feel more familiar and more comfortable with it.
Correct.
Yeah. And that is something that we're going to see as time goes on. Obviously, we're going to see an increase in the technology. There's going to be different ways of using it, but I think the most important thing is that people are comfortable with it, they're familiar with it, and they can sort of change their way of thinking from that of a traditional sense to something that's just a little bit more outside the box. In terms of how they get their health care and how they get educated about their own health. So,
agreed.
Great stuff, man. All right. So listen, we're going to be back next week, and we expect to have a guest on. I believe we're going to be talking nutrition. And for the Wellness Roundtable radio show, I'm Dr. David Spearer, and my co-host, Dr. Scott Weiss, who is always, graciously attended our show all the way from New York. Great talking to you, Scott.
Of course, Dave.
And
my pleasure being here all the time.
We'll be back on the radio next week. So again, this is the Wellness Roundtable radio show. I'm Dr. David Spearer, along with my co-host, Dr. Scott Weiss. Join us every Wednesday at 3 p.m. We'll see you next week.
You've been listening to the Wellness Roundtable radio show right here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. Tune in next week for more from the experts on the Wellness Roundtable radio show.
Atrix is one of the fastest growing companies in the footwear industry and is widely recognized as a global leader in comfort and wellness footwear products. The Atrix mission is to create the healthiest shoe on the market today. With fashion, function, and quality at the forefront, Atrix designs and manufactures most types of footwear for both men and women. All styles are crafted with care to meet the highest standards in design, incorporate cutting-edge technologies, and offer unmatched customization and adjustability. To learn how Atrix can help you with your feet, go to AETREX.com. That's Atrix.com.
We really ought to get the patriots of this country, not just the motorcycle clubs and people that, still believe in the Second Amendment, private property, but the veterans who've been targeted by the Democrats, by the globalists. I mean, we've got the reports, I've shown them on air, where DHS domestic terror warning, where they said that we stand by veterans being the #1 terror threat in America with no evidence, no metrics, no nothing.
Alex Jones, nights 1 to 4 a.m. Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. You're listening to Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. Cave Creek, Phoenix, a division of Premier Radio Station.